Hello, my name is Mackenzie Henderson, and I am here with the She's Unlimited podcast, where we want to show girls everywhere that there is no limit to your success. Today, I have two very special guests, Ava Winn and Zoe McClendon, and we're going to be talking about college readiness. So, if you guys could introduce yourselves and say the school that you will be attending in the fall and what you're excited for college.
I'll go ahead and start us off. Hi, everyone. My name is Ava Winn. I am a first year political science major, Spanish minor at Spelman College. I'm so excited to be on campus and just explore all the opportunities that the college has. And I'm looking forward to making friends that will last for a lifetime. Thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming.
Hi everyone, my name is Zoe McClendon. I'll be attending Howard University this fall as a biology major on the pre-med track to becoming a pediatric anesthesiologist. And I would say the most thing I'm excited for is, like Ava said, is just making those lifelong connections. And I'm going to be on the dance team, the Bisonette, so I'm really excited.
Ooh, congratulations. That's so cool. So, this is the She's Unlimited podcast, like I said earlier, and just want to show girls that there's no limit to your success. And this episode is a little bit different because we have two guests today. So, I'm actually a senior, so I'm going to be learning things too from you guys. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is college applications. What do you think made you stand out in the college application process? So, we can start with Ava again and just go in that order.
Sure. So I think a very important part of the college application process is the essay, because that is a chance for the application readers, the admissions officers, to really see who you are beyond the items on your resume. They see thousands and thousands of applications, whichever school you end up applying to, schools you end up applying to. And so the essay is the actual time that they get to see who you are and what makes you you. So I think it's very important in the application process that you are very diligent and thoughtful in your essay, because that is how the admissions officers get to know you. I would recommend having multiple people read your essay before you submit it. A good rule of thumb is having a teacher that you trust, or if you have a college advisor to help you, to have them see it, because maybe they will find errors or things that you can consider to improve your essay. So I definitely say take a lot of time on your application, take a lot of time on your essay, and make sure that it is thoughtful and best represents you.
That's some good advice.
Yes, I 100% agree with your essay just being such a very vital part of your application process. In addition to your essay, though, I would say personally just being a balanced student, and not only balanced in your academics but in your extracurriculars and in your community. So just making sure you're engaging in community service, or trying out for some officer roles in different clubs in your school, or making sure you're including like all the different sports you might do within your school as well. So just including those extracurriculars and community service aspects are very vital in your application as well, in addition to your grades and academics.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's very true. Okay, for the next question, what aspects of your application or high school experience are you most proud of? Okay.
Okay. I would say that something that I liked that I did in my high school experience, and something that I think I'm going to probably replicate in college, is just taking time to like find things that I was really passionate about. So I learned that being involved in my school community was very important to me. I wanted to be more than just a student. So being like the president of the African American Appreciation Club, working for diversity related issues, was something that was really important to me and was meaningful in my high school experience. So I think those two are probably the ones that I'm most proud of, but also outside of school, um, completing my Girl Scout Gold Award. That was a project that I worked really hard on, that was focused around educating women in my community about mental health and physical wellness and why it's important to live a balanced life, especially after surviving the pandemic. And so I think those three are probably the ones that immediately come to my mind because I think that they made an impact on others. And that is something that I always strive for in every aspect of my life.
For me, some aspects of my high school experience and just application that I'm very proud of is being president of the Minds and Minorities Club at my school. It was just really cool to just organize events for different students at my school of different cultures and have everyone come together and just really resonate about different problems that are going on within their communities and educate others on those as well. So that was really cool. And also being captain of the dance team was really fun as well because those are my girls and just having that. I was in leadership from freshman year to senior year, so just having that amazing journey with them was a great experience. Those are definitely two highlights of my high school application, but outside of school, being Juvenile Justice Committee Chair for the NAACP Houston, Texas Youth Council was just a beyond amazing experience. I had the opportunity to put on monthly programs for youth in my community from ages 4 all the way up to people in college. And it was really just a great experience in having youth really appreciate that they can use their voices and that their voice matters, especially within the different discussions and issues going on in modern day society. So, really tackling those issues in the Black community and different people of color's community and just really advocate was a great experience and definitely a highlight of my application.
That's really good. What do you think students should highlight in their applications? I know you guys talked a little bit about making sure your essay is good, but is there any particular that you think is important to really highlight about your high school experience?
Good question. I would say just really highlight what you have done in your school, how you've led. And I think sometimes students forget or think that there are moments in their high school that were like small leadership opportunities or that they didn't feel like were very significant. But put it on your application because that all contributes to who you are. And there's nothing too small. Don't be modest. This is the time for you to really tell the world about your accomplishments. So definitely highlight all the things that you did in high school. And it might behoove you to actually take some time to go back and like write down all of the things so you can really see everything that you've done so that you don't miss anything because you don't want to submit an application that doesn't fully reflect your 4 years.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes, I think that students should really highlight really who they are and what they're passionate about within their application. I feel like colleges are really looking for that difference. A lot of people just, they're really academic heavy or really extracurricular heavy, but really having that balance and really showing who you are in different ways and different aspects, whether that be on your application or in your essay, is very, very vital in the process. And like Ava was saying, like even the smallest things that you might think are small can make such a big change to your application and distinguish you from other applicants.
Mhm.
So I really think those are some things to keep in mind when you're going through your college application process.
Yes, and I want to point out that not everybody's situation is the same because some people might not have the time to go into extracurricular activities because maybe they need to take care of their siblings or they have a job. So you can put that down as well and make sure to keep a resume. That is what saved me because I'll be thinking like, wait, what do I do? Like I can't just remember. So, like Ava said, yes, keep it written down. Make sure you keep a resume or just a list of everything you've accomplished through high school. And it does not have to just be clubs.
Definitely.
For sure.
So, for scholarships,
Mhm.
how did you find and apply for scholarships?
Okay, so I have the privilege of being in a few different organizations that have given me access to scholarships and have shared the information. I think also if you have the privilege of being a part of Top Teens or Jack and Jill or the NAACP or really any organization, take advantage of all the applications that they send you, because those really do add up. And if you have members of your church or any religious organization send you applications, just apply. Also, just kind of going on Google, searching for applications that pertain to you, making sure, especially if your college, has scholarships, to make sure that you apply for those, or ensure that your admission application, is up to par so that you can qualify for those scholarships. I just think taking advantage of anything that comes your way, and just ensuring that you're really on the search for them, because they are out there. You just sometimes have to find them and really put in the work to complete them.
Yes. Yes. So I kind of found some of majority of the applications and scholarships that I applied for through different organizations as well, such as Jack and Jill and 4-H and all of those things.
Mhm.
But this is kind of funny. I also found some scholarships through my mom, because she would consistently send scholarships like from Facebook or Instagram, and I'm like, she's like, apply for this, and I'm like, okay. So yes, I definitely found, so for like those who are not involved in organizations, they are on social media as well. So from TikTok to Instagram to Facebook, you can find a lot of scholarship opportunities, as well as just looking up scholarship opportunities on Google, or reaching out to fellow graduates that have, received scholarships before you. I know when I was a senior and it was scholarship season, anytime that I seen, oh, not senior, underclassmen, anytime that I seen any of my senior friends posting like any scholarships they received, I would be like, oh my gosh, like what organization is this? And then I actually put it on a Google spreadsheet, and I looked it up, researched it, and I saved it so that when I became a senior and I was in their shoes, I was able to apply and also receive that scholarship. So just doing those things and taking those steps ahead of time saves you a lot of time in the future. So those are some ways and aspects in which I applied for my scholarships.
Okay, and I could tell you guys too, my mom always sends me those Instagram scholarships. But one thing that I did learn from a senior that I do know is that even if you don't necessarily fit the criteria for the scholarship, still apply, because there's a lot of people who don't apply because they think that they don't fit the criteria and nobody gets the money. So you still have a chance even if you don't fit the mold for what the scholarship is asking for. Do you have any specific strategies or tips for securing the scholarships?
Yes, I would say most of the scholarships that you will probably apply for are going to have some type of like essay response or component. I would say definitely make sure that your essays are specific to the question that they're asking, because while many of the questions across scholarships are very similar, there might be a clause or a word that might slightly separate it. So I would say definitely work smarter and not harder, and use scholarship essays from the past, but make sure that they fit. Because if they don't fit, then you're not really answering the question, and that could potentially affect you either getting the scholarship or not. So definitely be specific, and make sure that you don't save it for the last minute. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but it's just important that you work ahead so that you don't get stressed out when all of the deadlines are happening. You're probably going to be applying for scholarships in the middle of senior year and senior activities. So it's important that you're organized. Definitely do the Google spreadsheet. That was great advice that Zoe gave. Definitely do the Google spreadsheet, because that will keep you organized with all of the dates and deadlines and whatever documents they need.
Yes, I 100% agree with Ava. Regarding strategies, like she said, some of the scholarship essays are kind of similar. So make sure that you're writing keeping all of your scholarship essays, like maybe in the same document, or just keeping them in different documents that are close, so that you can kind of like relate back to another, and make sure that you're still addressing the question specifically, but you can kind of reuse some of the same wording in in that type of way. So you don't have to completely like start from a beginning, like start from scratch. You can just, use that essay but reword it and make sure you're still addressing what the scholarship is asking.
Yes, that's true. So for choosing a school,
Mhm.
I mean, that is probably the hardest part of college.
Mhm.
Now I'm looking at so many schools. There's just so many good options. I don't even
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
how did you guys decide on the right fit for you?
Okay, so you're right. There are so many amazing schools, so many. Um, and so it can kind of be a little bit overwhelming, maybe even nerve-wracking trying to figure out which one is right for you. Something that really helped me, especially when I was in kind of my final days of deciding, was making a pros and cons list and really trying to
Yeah.
figure out what I liked about Spelman. Like what made Spelman different? Why did I really want to attend? And hopefully, like what I hope the outcomes will be at after I graduate. And I think that just kind of helped me center myself and realize that I had actual reasons why I wanted to attend. Also, on the contrary, I think it's important to consider things that may not be ideal and just kind of balance your options because it's impractical to enter this space knowing that every school is going to be perfect because there is no perfect school. But it's
Yeah.
important to know that there are going to be some potential negatives, but you want to make sure that the positives outweigh the negatives. So I hope that makes sense. And just realize that it's all going to work out. It really will. Wherever you end up, you're meant to be there, and you've worked hard to be there. So just remember that throughout the process, you're going to be out of school and you're going to do great and you're going to thrive, and it's all going to work out for you.
Yes, there are so many amazing schools out there. I feel like the number one thing to consider when deciding if a school is right for you is if it's best for your major, because that's ultimately what you're there for. So you want to be number one, make sure that that is your priority, and second, also the other factors. So there's location, there's the cost, there's social life. Like there's different aspects to college that make you fit for it and personally like draw you to it. For
Mhm.
Howard specifically, oh, also be sure to visit the schools. Um, when so I mean, if you can, if you have the privilege to, please visit the schools because
Mhm.
I feel like as soon as you get on that campus and you kind of get like the gist of how it works and you hear from past students or current students, it really makes you feel like the right school will make you feel at home, and that's how I felt when I was at Howard. I toured a plethora of different schools, but when I toured Howard, I was like, oh yeah, this is my school. So just keeping those things in mind, the major, your outside factors, and then just touring the school and really get to know what you're getting yourself into before you make the right decision.
Yes, that's all true. That was actually my next question. Did you guys tour your campus and how
Mhm.
did it influence your decision?
Yeah. So this is a really great question. I actually toured Spelman twice during my junior year. Once was in the fall, right, kind of around Parents Weekend, and then the other time was in the spring. So there's an opportunity at Spelman called Junior Preview Day. So this is for all the juniors out there, where you can come to the school, hear about the admissions process, see what they're looking for. They give you actually like a simulation of how they actually decide applicants, and it's like a real world experience so that you can kind of tailor your application to what they're looking for. I would definitely recommend that. Also, I know this is probably the same for Howard. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Zoe. If you live in a major city, they will probably be coming to visit your city. Please go to those seminars because maybe you might not have the chance to go physically tour, but if you go to those information sessions, they not only know who you are, but you also get a lot of insight about the application process, admissions, and kind of anything related to your college experience.
Yes, so I toured Howard the spring of my junior year, I believe, and it was during probate season. So it was really cool to see all the different, D9s doing their little crosses and things on the yard, and that was really cool seeing all the step shows and everything. I not only did, the standardized tour from the school, but I also had the opportunity to kind of do a day in the life with some of the students that I knew from dance and Jack and Jill, who were current students there. So I got the experience of, going to the caf or spending a day in their dorm. So it was really cool, and I feel like that definitely contributed to me just feeling at home and my overall decision.
That's really good. So, about choosing a major. How did you guys choose your major, and do you guys always know that that was what you wanted to do?
Yes, that's a good question. So I am a political science major, Spanish minor. I hope to pursue law and business schools after my undergraduate studies with the ultimate hope of practicing law in Texas. So actually, for when I was little, I thought that I was going to be a doctor and go the pre-med track. And I realized kind of in the wake of 2020 that I was actually really passionate about social justice and just all issues related to the justice system and law. And so that kind of prompted me to political science, which is the study of government and policy and politics. And so I would say when you choose a major, choose something that you're actually passionate about. And I would also, I know sometimes that students face difficulties when they have influences from outside saying you should do this, you should do that. But truthfully, like they're not going to be in the classroom. You're going to be the one who's going to be responsible for knowing all the information and for doing well. So it's important that you do something that is actually interesting to you and something that you're invested in, because that will keep you consistent and keep you working on the difficult days and maybe during the times that it's just not the most ideal. So yes, that's how I chose political science.
I am one of those people who always knew what they wanted to do. So, like, since middle school, I always had the set to be a biology major. Like, I knew I wanted to be a doctor. Don't tell me why. I was like, I'm going to be a doctor. I had always been interested in science and medicine and helping others. So I knew that's what I was passionate about and that's what I wanted to do. So from there, I just made sure that I was, going to STEM camps, doing Saturday science with Baylor College of Medicine. And then that's when I found my interest of being a pediatric anesthesiologist in specific. So from there, I was just, expanding on that knowledge, and that's what really ultimately made me decide for sure that I wanted to be a biology major. And as far as advice on deciding on your major, like Ava said, just please make sure it's something that you're passionate about. You might not know, like I did from middle school, but in your high school journey or even like in your senior year, sometimes it takes others more time. Even when you're in college, you can change your major, but
Yeah.
please make sure it's something that you're really passionate about and really venture out through different avenues, like go to camps or shadow somebody whose occupation you're interested in, so you could kind of get like a day in their life and see if that's something you're really interested in. So that's my advice on deciding on your major.
Yes, that's really good advice. So, for social life and making friends. So, are there any clubs or organizations that you guys are excited to join in college?
Yes, I would say so. I'm actually already kind of gotten involved in the Future Business Leaders of Spelman Club at the school. And so I'm just excited to join and help my fellow sisters find internship opportunities. That's something I'm really passionate about. I have always been really driven for my career, and I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to help others. I'm also excited to be a part of the Texas Club. I think that's one of the clubs that I'm interested in, just to meet people from my home state. I'm very, very proud Houston, Texas. So I'm just grateful to have the chance to meet others, not only at Spelman, but even at Morehouse and Clark, Atlanta.
Yes.
Yes. I am also very excited to be involved with the Howard Texas Club. I want to, you know, exhibit my Texas pride and meet other people from Texas as well. I'm also very excited, like I said, for the Bisonettes and just be a part of another dance community. I'm really happy and excited for all of those experiences. And I'm also really excited to further my advocacy efforts with the Howard NAACP. So I'm really excited for that. And I definitely want to join some more clubs, but those are the top three for sure.
Oh, that's cool. Might have to join a Texas club.
Yes. There will definitely be one at your school.
Hopefully. So, for a high school experience, the first question is, what advice do you have for high school students preparing for college in general?
I'd say be intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you're not going to have everything figured out, and that's fine. I can tell you I didn't, but if you're intentional and you've realized your why, I think that will lead you in the right direction. And just realize that it's your process. Nobody else is entitled to knowing where you're going to go or knowing the details of your experience if you don't want to share. I know that I was kind of private about, like my journey. And I think that that was really special because it allowed me to navigate that experience kind of on my own, but also with a small group of my community, like my parents and my teachers at school and my academic advisor. So I would just definitely say, make the experience your own and don't compare yourself to others, because comparison is the thief of joy. That's an old adage that I truly believe. And sometimes especially in this really highly competitive process of college, it's easy to compare yourself, but just realize that this is your journey. It's going to be like no one else's. And you've got this. You have it in you. It's already in you. And it's going to be great.
My number one advice would be to start early, whether it be scholarships or college applications or your essay, your personal statement. Please start everything early. Do not procrastinate, because when those deadlines come around, you're going to thank yourself that you had everything, done ahead of time, especially, being active in school and having those things to worry about as is. So with scholarships, I know a lot of people might think that you only can apply when you're a junior or your senior, but no, you can apply as early as freshman year, sometimes even earlier. I know one of the scholarships I received this year, a middle schooler received. And so just making sure that you really start early and get those essays out. I personally would say, I know it's kind of a little late, but I know Common App opened recently, so starting your personal essay as soon as you can and getting that out the way maybe before October, so when you're actually submitting those applications, you won't be stressed and you'll just be, submit, submit, submit. So please be sure that you're starting everything early and do not procrastinate.
Yes, that's very good advice because I think that's the main thing that a lot of high schoolers struggle with is just waiting until the last second to get everything done, but no more of that. Okay. How do you think that the experiences you had in high school prepared you for college or going into college?
I think a huge aspect of college is balance and independence. And I think that just being involved in my high school and really taking command of everything that I was kind of involved in has prepared me for this next phase of my journey. So that's why I think it's not only because of its great experience to have leadership, but it's also just important that you are able to go to college knowing that you have the capacity and the experience behind you to take on really whatever comes your way. And obviously there's no way to be 100% completely prepared, because there are going to be lessons and things that I'm going to learn along the way at Spelman. But I think that so far, just having the independence and just the experience of creating, kind of my own journey has prepared me for college.
Yeah.
I believe just being in the different organizations, both inside and outside of school, and balancing that with IB work whew, really allowed me the balance, like Ava said, that's going to prepare me for college, and also the organization skills. College and high school is definitely about organization. So, emailing and Google reminders or calendar invites, just making sure that you're taking notes of everything and or keeping yourself organized and well maintained is definitely a vital aspect that you should continue in college, if not, further upon. And that's definitely something that kept me sane within high school and that I want to apply as well in college.
Yes, that's really good. So these are questions from the girls. So these are a little bit less serious. And it's just questions from girls. It could be advice or just anything that any other girls are have questions about.
Okay.
So the first question is, how do you balance your academic responsibilities with your social life?
Okay. I would definitely say take care of your school and academic responsibilities first.
Mhm.
That's really the most important. But equally, don't like stress yourself out so much that you like miss out on social opportunities because life is about balance. You want those experiences. The memories that you make in high school, the memories that you make in college are going to last for throughout your entire life. So it's important that you realize what you're there for, you realize what you're working for, but equally that you have fun and you take care of business. It's work hard, play hard. That's kind of my
Yeah.
mentality. And I feel like that's just a good rule of thumb. Take care of the hard stuff first so that you can go out and enjoy um, anything that you want to do.
Yes, work definitely comes first, but it is also great to have that balance of social life and making sure that you're still, hanging out with friends and doing experiencing those high school experiences as well. Be sure, that you're getting your work done, like planning it out. So like if
Yes.
you have a big test coming up, make sure you're studying for that and you do the test, then you can maybe celebrate later with friends. Or if you have homework to do and you want to hang out with friends later, get that work done first, then hang out with friends. So it's just having that well balance of things and being organized, making sure that you're keeping up with all your homework assignments and not getting backtracked is also good because then you won't have to worry about catching up on work later on. So, yes, I definitely believe it is important to maintain that social life so that also for your mental health, you're not, stressing yourself out and overworking yourself to an extent.
Yes, and I think one of the easiest ways to do this is just surrounding yourself with people who understand that academics come first as well. Because if you have friends who are like, come on, let's go to the party, just do your homework later, that's not going to help you. So make
Yeah.
sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right people or just putting that boundary up.
Definitely.
Okay. Any specific tips on time management?
Ooh. I would say something that's really helped me. This is kind of a study tip, time management tip, is really trying to eliminate distractions. So, something that I know for myself is that my phone is a distraction. So, whenever I have to study or really get something done, if I'm pressed for time, I put my phone in the other room and just lock in. So just know what distracts you. Maybe it's, being in a certain area of your home or being at school in a certain place. When you know and you're aware of the things that might put you off task, it's so much easier to work around and figure out how you can recenter yourself. I'd also say I set timers for myself. So if I have an assignment to work on, maybe I think it's going to take like 45 minutes. I set a timer for myself so I can really work within that time frame. And then after that time, take breaks and work around. But I think it's good to set timers because you can really kind of plan out and accurately um, allocate your time so that you don't spend 5+ hours on something that actually are very strategic about how long assignments and responsibilities take.
Yeah.
I feel like a really vital tip for time management is just personally figuring out your specific study schedule. So
Mhm.
everyone has their time of their best designated time of when they're really locked into study. Whether you're an early bird or a night owl. Me personally, I was a night owl. So like after I got home from practice in school, I would, take a shower, do all my personal care, and then I lock in on my homework and make
Yeah.
sure that I did everything during that time. But if you're a person who really values their sleep schedule, you might want to get those full 8 hours, but wake up earlier so that you can work on your work and you're more awake and well, energized during that time. I do it in the morning. So just making sure that you're really maximizing your fullest potential and your best time management within the certain times that you're personally ready and your personal schedule is very vital as well.
Yes, and some advice I have for this is writing everything down. Every little thing that you need to do, write it down. I don't know about anybody else, but I can forget anything I have to do if I don't write it down. So, keeping a whiteboard, keeping up with your notes app, that really helps me in getting everything done and making sure things are done on time. So, for the next question, what advice do you have for navigating romantic relationships in high school?
I would say just remember who you are, remember your values, and if a person comes into your life, that's amazing and that's great. But also make sure that you're your own individual because that's what's going to be consistent throughout. Don't get so caught up in kind of the looks of everything. And I would just say seek genuine relationships. Don't do anything that you don't want to do. Um, and just make sure that the person is right. And if it isn't right down the line, that's fine. It's a learning experience, and that's what I think life is all about. But it's important to know who you are because if you know that, I believe you can kind of take on anything that may come your way.
Yes, definitely knowing who you are and your morals and sticking to it. Don't let anyone tell you anything else or try to influence you. I definitely believe not having relationships distract you or overconsume you too much. It's okay to, talk to people and have those romantic relationships in high school, but please make sure that you're still maintaining your own self, getting your work done, getting the other things you need to do done, and not letting that distract you from your goals and your ambitions.
Yes, I agree with both of you guys. Just staying on the path that you're on and making sure that they're on the path that they're on too. You don't want to be too dependent on each other, but just enjoy the time that you guys have together, but still have your own life and be an individual. Okay, so for the last question, any self care routines or practices that you recommend?
Okay, so I'm a spiritual person. I'm a person of faith. So it's really important for me to pray. And I just encourage anybody to figure out what works for you. Maybe you don't pray, but maybe journaling is your self-care tool. I would definitely say that. I journaled at one point, and that's hopefully something that I'm going to pick up on in college. I'd also just say get your rest. Like sleep is so important. It's so good to grind and get all of your work done, but it's also equally important to take care of yourself. So get your rest, and just find ways that you personally relax. I also like yoga. That's something that I've learned, and that's a great tool. I would definitely say take advantage of that if you can. Exercise is always good. It's great to just get outside. It's hot in Houston right now, but any other time, get outside, get some air, and just find ways that you can like kind of detach, but also take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, I completely agree with finding your own personal self care routine that's catered to you. For me personally, I love God and I love to pray. That's number one. Number two, I would say I love a good show. I love to wind down and watch something on Netflix that really calms me. Number three would definitely be just, having those maintenance days, whether it be painting my nails or doing lashes or a skincare routine. I feel like those are definitely my top three. But there's other ways as well, like just finding your personal outlet. For me, it's dance.
Yeah.
Some people, it's going to the gym and just having a healthy lifestyle, or others, it's journaling or writing down their feelings or music. So I feel like there's a whole bunch of different ways and different practices you can use, and that you will utilize to just wind down and really practice your self care and mental health.
Yes, I agree with both of you guys. I feel like it's really important to find what works for you and what's best for you. And for me, I love to take showers. I will take like 3 showers a day. It's just so relaxing. But I also like to write, and I'll just write everything that happened in my day, everything I'm thinking about, and I'll write to God as well. So I think that's a good thing to just let everything out. But just find what works for you and what's best for your mental health.
And ask for help. It's so
Yeah.
important. It's you can't do this on your own. You can't. So use your resources. I have a very close relationship with my family. I'm really close to my mom, and my dad, and so and my cousin. So having people who you can turn to is
Mhm.
so important. And maybe it's not your family, maybe it's a therapist or a friend. But relationships are what is so important in life, and those will last. So I think just surrounding yourself around good people is a cure all for me, at least.
Yes.
Yes, a community is always good for your mental health. Well, that was the last question. Do you guys have any words of advice or upcoming?
Just stay true to yourself and find your passion. Like I said earlier, it might not be now, it might be later on, but just use this time of navigation to just really figure out what you want to do and surround yourself by good people who support you in all that you do and will be there for you no matter what.
Yes, I would just to add on to that, give yourself grace. I think sometimes we are so hard on ourselves, and we expect so much, and that's great. You want to have high expectations, you want to have aspirations, but it's important to also sometimes remind yourself just how amazing you are, because you are. And just remember that it's in you, like completely. You have the potential to do whatever you set your mind to. If you believe it and you put in the work, I believe that it is possible.
Yeah.
And just speak life. I think that's also a really good thing. If I believe that, if you say things, it will come true, especially if you put the work behind it. So that would be my pieces of advice. And you can DM me if you have any questions, especially related to Spelman or just college in general. This process, I do have some tips that I'd love to share.
Definitely.
Just kind of like a Spelman related event, just for anybody who's a prospective student. There will be an admissions day sometime in the fall. I think it's in September or October, especially if you're in Houston, or if you're in any other major city like New York, LA, Atlanta. Um, they come to your city. Definitely take advantage of that. And if you're a junior and just getting a head start, definitely go to Junior Preview Day on campus. It's in March. I think was the first weekend when I went. Definitely take advantage of that.
Okay.
The NAACP Houston, Texas Youth Council is currently accepting officer positions and committee chairs. I was about to say my chair. Committee chair positions. So if you're interested in that and advocacy in your community, please reach out to the Instagram. It's at NACPYC or NACP Houston, Texas YC. My bad. Or you could just reach out to me and I can connect you to them.
All of their social medias will be linked below if you guys have any questions. But thank you guys so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Of
Yes.
course. Day, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.